Oh my goodness. Hey guys, Brady here. Welcome to one of the gardens. So I wanted to give you a helpful tip. If you can find a soil mulch person or business where you can buy in bulk versus all the bags, you're going to come out so much cheaper. And typically what we have found, it's such better soil. So if you can see in that bed right there, he just filled that one. And I'm going to take you around and show you the other ones that he's been working on. I guess they're our muscadines, but he trimmed them or pruned them, and then he built this trellis right here. We're actually going to do one opposite on this side where all this greenery is, so that we can still drive the truck back here to get to the other part of the property. But this looks so good. These muscadines look really fantastic. I'm excited. They both ended up bearing fruit last year, so hopefully we will get good fruit off of them this year. And we're gonna walk over here. You can see his truck. So what we went and did was I have a little footage. We went to our local Mountain High Mulch, which is in our area. We love their garden mix. It's a compost and topsoil mix with some sand that they do, and it is what we have found to grow the best anything around. So we love it. So he opened up the gate here. Say hey, Johnny. And you can see we have our gorilla cart. And so he opened up the gate over here because there was a bed right here. It's right there now. It's going to go in the back because it's easier to come in. He'll close the gate up. But we had blackberries all growing in here. And this.
Never underestimate how many doors you're going to need on one of these things.
Yes.
Never.
More doors.
Never have too many doors.
That's right. Because you can see we have the truck right here because all of these beds needed soil, desperately needed soil.
Because when we first filled it up, there was no fence.
Oh, that's true. That is true. We were filling them up before we had built the fence. So, and this can be put back, so that's not a big deal. But when he pulled that out,
culture.
so when he pulled that out,
it didn't disintegrate. Wait. The bark fell off.
So when he pulled that bed out, I have been complaining about my my strawberry green stalk, because it's on a slope right there, and I've really wanted to move it to this corner where it is level, because I really wanted to keep that one in this area, but we had blueberries. So he's moved the blueberries right there. We're going to take the bed that was in here, put it in the back garden because we have all that space, and no big deal to do that. And we'll be able to back up the truck back there to the bridge he built and use our gorilla cart and fill up. We have grow bags we need to fill up. We have other beds to fill up. And don't smash my plants. And so yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Look at that lettuce. I told you they're heavy. Especially those, because I had just fixed those. And look at these onions that came up. Those were from like last year. These were not the ones we planted in the fall. These just came up last year. Or
what?
These onions.
Oh yeah.
They were from last year and they never did anything. And they came up. So he pulled those out, and because they were in these beds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 beds here I can plant up. And yeah, that's 4. So that's pretty good. I've already planted up all the other beds. And I still have that other green stalk to plant up, which I'm not ready to plant it yet. I'm thinking it's going to be an herbal green stalk. And that one's going to go in the back. I want that one to go to the back. This one I want to go here. So did you see the stand?
I'll show you something else.
Oh, what?
See this? See this gap? It's too small. Don't make gaps that small. Stuff grows up in there, it's hard to get out. We didn't know. Make a big gap so you can clean it.
So you can walk all the way around it?
No, well, maybe. I guess so, but so you can clean it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, guess you can walk through it, I guess.
You know what we could do? We maybe should do? Maybe we should get some mulch and pour it back there. Might help. Because this garden has the black fabric. How old is this? Like 3 years old? Yeah, it's 3 years old. Yeah, it has held up. It does get in between the seams. You will get, and sometimes, yeah. See, this is in between a seam, so you'll get things like that. We just
like it's gonna be just as lean as the other one.
No, that actually looks much better. Let me get that because I couldn't get my. And do you see this? The birds keep pulling out my strawberries from the rootstock.
Sorry, Bart. No wonder we eat them.
That's okay. We're gonna put a shade cloth on this one. Hopefully maybe in the next week. I want to have a shade cloth on this one as well because I've got my worm. I haven't got my worms yet. But this garden, I'm hoping to have shade cloth there and here. But I got a 40, for this side is a 40%, I think it's 40% shade cloth. And the reason I did that is because I'm hoping I've got some tomatoes. I have other tomatoes that I'm going to put out here. Your tomatoes will drop their blooms after it reaches about 85 degrees. But with shade cloth, that buys you a little bit more time, but you still want them to get enough sun so they'll grow and produce. So what's recommended for tomatoes, peppers, tomatoes, I think cucumbers even, was 40 to 50% shade cloth. So I bought one, but I want John, we're going to put up a bar like he did over there so that we're not having to duck down. That has made that so much nicer to use over there. Because with my chicken run, we have to duck down, and I mean, we can do it, but it's a pain. It's not my favorite. We hate it. We want to change it eventually, but for now, it works. So, and so you can see over here, there's seams over there. There's seams over there, so you can see where little things do come in. So you do have to kind of weed a little bit, but nothing like if there were grass here, and I guess we could put mulch in, but yeah, I think we actually did put mulch. There is mulch on the other side, and there's stuff growing over there too. So I'm fine with this and just trying to keep it up. So, I think that looks really good because that's what I want to be able to do is spin it. And now hopefully I can get the top on it, the top water. See, here's the top one. But I don't want to smash my lettuce because now my lettuce is like grown like crazy. I need to harvest it before it burns up. It's been getting a lot of sun. Yay, that worked out so good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, baby.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to show you my tip, and that is that truckload of compost soil sand mix, garden soil, and it's organic.
Same as 27 1 cubic foot bags.
Yep, it's the same as 27 bags of the stuff you get at the big box stores, except that stuff's not anywhere near as good as this stuff. And one of those bags runs about $10. Some places you might get it for like $7.98, depending. This truckload cost us, was it $41 or $42? Well, with tax, $46. And You can't beat that with a stick. That is fantastic. And so if you have one of those places, check them out. And you got to have a truck, but even you can rent. Yeah, if you're going to have a big garden, you can rent for like half a day a Home Depot truck, or yeah, the Home Depot trucks where you can put soil in them. So you can go that way as well. But I'm just telling you, you're going to save so much money on quality soil, mulch. Most of those places also do like the pebbles and the stones and stuff like that. So that could be a thing too if you're doing some kind of garden space, or maybe like a fire pit, something like that. And yes, you do want to read reviews. Make sure it's quality soil. And you could start with one. What we liked when we discovered this place, they had a garden that they had planted stuff in the front of their business, so you could see, and I mean the plants were lush and looked great. We just couldn't believe the difference in the quality of how many vegetables. Just our cucumbers were insane, our tomatoes were overwhelming. There was lots of them. The only thing that did underwhelming last year for us really were peppers, and that was because they got stunted because we got a very late frost. And so, yeah, so that was really the only thing that underperformed for us. A couple of our rounds of corn, but that was, we played around with it, and we added like mushroom compost and brown cow, and the bed that we just used this stuff, that was the one we got all that sweet corn that was amazing. So anyway, so I just wanted to give you that quick tip. If you haven't thought about looking for something like that, trying it, you can always try it on a small scale. Go buy a bag. Most of the time they'll also sell bags. Go buy a bag and plant something and see how it does. And if it does, particularly like you can do beans. I know that beans are very susceptible to some of the different pesticides, and if you can't grow a green bean in it, you don't want it. So that would be one thing you could do, and you could try it out. But like I said, we found this, we saw their gardens, and I also get my pine straw. He sells untreated pine straw, and that's the pine straw I get from my chickens for their runs. We moved to the bark chips, and we don't like those, so we won't be doing that again. So we'll be moving back to the pine straw. That has worked well, and I like pine straw on my garden beds once they're planted up. I don't particularly like the, a lot of people do a fine mulch. Some people do hay. I hated hay. I got more grass and stuff growing in my beds. Didn't like that. So I don't recommend that. Or if you like it, go ahead. But I didn't like that. The straw, the untreated straw, I have liked. It keeps the beds moist. And so it does its job. It helps deter weeds in the places where your plants haven't filled out just so yet. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to continue to use. And I just wanted to give you that little tip. Maybe it'll save you some money. Maybe it'll help you.
How much that was?
You said it was 46?
No. Cubic yards.
It's 27?
1 cubic yard is 27 cubic feet.
So 1 cubic yard is 27 cubic feet.
So some bags have 1.5, some have 1, some have 2.
Right.
You have to do the math.
Yes.
It will always come out better if you buy it without the bag.
That is true. So if you were going, and let's say you were getting, now some places will sell the 2 cubic feet is it cubic feet?
Cubic feet.
In a bag, and those are running like $15 a bag. And that's
$5.
I'm trying to, so if you got, this was 27, so that's almost like 14 of those.
Some of them are 0.75 cubic feet.
Some of them are because of shrinkflation, and then a lot of them I've seen this year are 1.5 or 1. So if you just got the 1 I know like at Aldi's last year, those were 1 cubic feet, and we bought a lot of those before we found this, and that was actually pretty good organic garden soil, and we got a good deal on it. I also liked it because it was smaller bags. It was easier to handle. But then we found these, and so most of what went up here was the Aldi when we were just adding more soil to it last year. And then we discovered this when we were filling the beds in the back, and we just started going and getting truckloads. And yes, it was much cheaper. So if you think about one truckload would be the equivalent, let's say it's the equivalent of 13 bags, something like that. We'll say a dozen bags at $15. How much is that? Really? 13.
What's 12 times 12? 144.
Yeah.
You've
We don't
already-
do math the same way, so go ahead.
I get what's it's close to.
See, I would have done it different. I would have said, let's see, 12 times 15. So I'd say 15 times 10, that's 150. And then 5 times 10 is 50. So $200. So it would cost you $200 in bags versus, what'd you say, 46 or 48?
I don't know what I was doing.
46 to 48, depending on whatever your tax is in your area.
Not very.
So that would be, what is that? That's like a quarter of the cost if you're buying in bags to fill up raised beds. So, and also don't forget in the raised beds, you don't have to put compost in all of it, but you do want to be careful about putting like regular topsoil. I've seen a lot of people putting in like the Scott's topsoil, and if you read the Scott's bags, it says not to put in beds. It's not for that. It is for like clay, like if you're trying to plant grass seed and stuff like that. It is not for gardening. So you would do better to dig up some soil in your own yard and maybe put that in the bottom.
Some of this has that.
Yes, we did do that. And some of this also had some of our chicken compost. So it kind of had a mix of that. We did do some of the logs and stuff. We don't love that. I think it's better. You could do sticks, but even still, when you start digging in them, if they're not too deep, you're going to come in contact with those sticks, and I just didn't like that. I think it's better to use leaves, cardboard, like doing lasagna, like a lasagna bag. Cardboard, leaves, pines, like if you have old straw from pine trees, something like that. I like that much better than putting the big logs in. That was not what I really liked, but that's me. So, but anyway, I don't want this to ramble on. I just wanted to give you a tip if you're new to gardening that you should definitely consider, because it will save you a lot of money. And with that $150 that you save, you can probably get another garden bed and another truck of dirt. So you can have a lot more. So anyway,
Another truck?
yeah. So with that, I hope that you have a great day. I hope you found value in this. If you did, we would love a thumbs up. If you are liking our channel, we'd love if you consider subscribing to the channel. If you know someone who's interested in gardening and you think this might be helpful information, please share our video. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye.